I talk, you listen. Welcome to my one-man panel of madness. This is Dr. Jiahu. Thank you for checking us out on Dr. Jiahu's Sci-Fi and Horror Ramblings. Today is all about The Haunting of Villa Diodati, and I really hope I'm saying that right. I'm sure it is. I mean, it's Diodati. So if it sounds anything like the Spanish version of it, it's Diodati, and we're going to go with that. The great thing about this episode, really, for me, was that if you've caught any of the other segments, is that I got to watch this with a room full of fans at Gallifrey One 2020 this year. It was awesome. From the very beginning, there was just a lot of electricity, I think, going through all the fans, cheering on the opening titles, and anytime something spooky happened, there was sort of shocking, and but yeah, what did I think about it? I really, really, really liked it. For one thing, it had elements that I love. I love haunted houses or haunted mansions. Like even the Eddie Murphy movie, Haunted Mansion, which admittedly a lot of people did not like. I like anything with the haunted houses, The Haunting, House on Haunted Hill. I love movies that have demons and spirits and ghosts. So this one started out very much in line with that kind of environment. I mean, I love the Haunted Mansion at Disney for that reason. Even though it's kind of cheesy and campy, I love haunted houses. And it probably has to do with a really weird I don't know, fear I had when I was a kid of them, because I remember there was a few houses that we did growing up and I couldn't do them because they were very terrifying, but now I love them. So that kind of environment was really exciting. I gotta say, I really didn't know if there was going to be a Cyberman in this episode, mostly because we were already told that the series finale two-parter was going to have everything about the Cybermen. Okay, so I didn't think about it, but then I thought there were rumors in many months ago that there was going to be a Mary Shelley episode and possibly a Cyberman, and it just makes sense. I mean, she comes up with Frankenstein, so there has to be a Cyberman. And of course, this weekend at Gallifrey One, John Davies, who plays a Cyberman on the show, the current show, had said there are going to be Cybermen in the episode. So not a spoiler. It's kind of like we knew it was coming. It's Frankenstein. So what else was there going to be? The Borg? Well, wrong show. Anyways. But yeah, the haunting environment, the whole mind thing where the house is kind of tricking you, but it's really in your mind that it's tricking you. The creepy bone hand that just appears and tries to kill everybody. Even the ghost of the lady and the girl, the servant lady and the girl, which they never really said in the episode who these two people were. And even at the end when Graham is walking, they're heading back to the TARDIS, they're like, well, you guys didn't see her? Like, so who was she? And then, ghosts don't exist, but the doctor says, well, maybe they do. So I think for that element, those two characters, I think I'm just going to leave it with that's all it was. It was a real haunting that only Graham got to see, right? Or I thought about this actually just right now, is that Graham might be dying in the next episode or two, the next one or the last one, and he's already seen, like in Doctor Who, it's like premonitions, right? You see ghosts, that means you're going to die because you're going to become one. So I don't know. I just thought about that right now. Maybe he's already, in all the time and space, his death is already marked and he's just seen, he can see him better, which begs the question, why didn't Yaz and Ryan see them? Because maybe they're not dying. I don't know. But anywho, I actually was looking for somebody to die in this episode. Because I just felt because, we were at Gallifrey One watching the episode. Tosin Cole was a guest at Gallifrey One. I was like, wow, this is too perfect. You put the two together, then, yeah, it's like he dies in the episode. At the end of the episode, he walks on stage, takes a bow, and, I don't know. This is the way I played it in my head. And, well, it didn't happen, obviously. So, but I just thought, they kind of worked it this way so that, ooh, here we are. He died in this episode, and here's the actor himself taking one more, bow. But That didn't work. The Cyberman was kind of cool. It was a different Cyberman, obviously. I want to know more about this specific Cyberman. He's a Cyberman from the future, the Cyber Wars. I mean, there's so much going on in this episode. And what I liked about it is that the first half of the story was really more of a sort of a horror, haunted house type story, trying to figure out. And they didn't bring in the Cyberman right until about the middle part, which is great because sometimes it's like the whole story just tells you right away what this is about. And the Cybermen are right in it from the get-go. But instead, they built it up and really made it all creepy and scary and frightening, which was great. The sound, the music, everything, the lightning was perfect. I feel that Cybermen with emotions are actually scarier. I think some people think that to take a creature's emotions and feelings away makes them frightening, which is what we saw with the Borg. For example, on Star Trek, people fear the Borg because they remove all those feelings, emotions, and any idea of a self, of individuality. And so with the Cybermen, it's kind of the same thing. And we've seen Cybermen in the past, and they're just Cybermen. They're robotic. They want to remove your emotions. They want to delete your emotions, and they want to make everyone like them, right? Okay, cool. But then this Cyberman comes in, face all cracked, with a face inside. I mean, the face helmet was cracked. You could see there was a face inside, which I thought was great. One of his hands was still humanoid, and it had kind of like it looked kind of like the Mondasian Cyberman. So I'm assuming he wasn't. I don't know if he was complete or not. I think the doctor says, "Oh, you weren't complete," but he says he is complete. Not sure why he didn't have an inhibitor chip, but again, he's supposed to be a Cyberman from the future, because the inhibitor chip is what takes away all that emotion and feeling. Yet this Cyberman, to me, was a lot more creepier because he had emotion. And an emotional Cyberman is a lot worse than a non-emotional Cyberman, because I really thought he was going to kill that baby. And one of the sounds I hate the most is the snapping of a neck. And if you've ever watched Battlestar Galactica, the very first pilot, the first miniseries, there is I don't want to spoil it because you haven't seen it, because there are people out there that still haven't seen it. There is a scene where there is a Cylon who snaps a baby's neck. Now, you don't physically see it, but you hear that sound, and it's like cracking a carrot. I don't know, I don't like it. So luckily it wasn't too loud, but when he killed the nursemaid, I was like, he's going to kill that baby. But, again, he has emotion. He didn't kill the baby. He says later that it's because blah, 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 humans are weak. But come on, we saw a little bit of compassion, and that's what Mary was trying to say. No, you didn't kill my child because you have compassion. So we'll see. I mean, there is so much that went on in that episode, that even the doctor, I've got to say that Jodie Whittaker has, I think in each episode, is really gaining her strength as the doctor. And we know that ultimately every actor that plays Doctor Who doesn't get their full steam until pretty much their last season. I mean, whether it's David Tennant or Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, usually the last season is the one where they've got the character nailed, right? So we know the first season is usually exploratory. We're trying to figure out who this doctor is. Midway, they're dealing with more stuff, which is developing their doctor even more. By the last seasons, they are the doctor. They just have everything that the doctor should be right there. But the 13th, no, sorry, with all the numbering now, it's like 12, 13th doctor. She's kind of getting into the companions a little bit, where Ryan was just like, take him out for the sake of all humans, for the sake of everybody. To the doctor, she's like, no, one person out of place, one person missing is a ripple in all life. And, and of course she has that very passionate, I will never see this happen to anyone again, in reference to what happened to Bill Potts in the 2-part series finale of series 10. Which is kind of gut-wrenching, You're like, oh my goodness, she's bringing that up. Hello, that's like a stab in the heart. It's like a wound she's reopened. But she's becoming a lot more, not angry, but a lot more emotional. You notice, because I think from the very beginning, from the first episode, Spyfall, right even to the second one where she knows Gallifrey's been burned, the Master's going around doing, who knows what. She knows something's coming for her, as she says. The timelines are converging. I mean, there's all this stuff going on that she's really has a lot of weight on her shoulders. And Jodie, as an actor, is definitely showing that a lot more in this last few series and episodes. And I think in this one, she's definitely, but she's still trying to stay fun, which I like about a Doctor. Is even though we're going through all this crap, I'm still trying to keep it fun, because I don't want to terrify you guys. But we know that something bad is obviously happening in the future. She did not listen to Captain Jack, who said, beware the lone Cyberman, don't give him what he wants. She did, the Cyberium, which is funny because I just thought immediately of Terminator 2 and the silver, I don't know, I call him the liquid silver Terminator. So that's kind of what we're talking about here with Cyberium. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next one. I know from the photos that we've seen that have come out for the new episode, there are Cybermen from almost every era. At least from what I saw, I didn't see any like Mondasian Cybermen, so I don't know. I could be wrong, but I do believe I saw 2 Cybermen from earlier series. So we will see what is going on and how the Doctor is going to fix this mess, because she has definitely made a huge mess in the future for all of humanity, and now she's going to have to fix it. Will this lead to the second part of that episode? So we have the Ascension of the Cybermen, and then we have part 2, which is the Timeless Children. Who are they? I don't know. It's hard. It's sad though too, because this will be the last 2 episodes of Doctor Who until who knows when. Hopefully we will get a Christmas episode. At least we have gotten confirmation that they are starting to film this September, which, by the way, for those people thinking that Tosin Cole may be out yet, he might already be filming or getting ready to film his new TV series and still be back in time in September for the new series, which means that if you take a year, right, to produce the episode, September to September, maybe October of 2021, we might get a new series of Doctor Who. Will it be the last one for Jodie Whittaker? We don't know. We know that they do have a HBO Max has a deal with BBC to run all the series of Doctor Who, modern Doctor Who, including series 12, 13, and 14. So we will see what is up with that. All right, that's all I'm going to say about this one, because I have more shows to do, because it has been an amazing weekend with so much stuff going on that I can't fit it all into one segment. So come back and listen to my next segment. Bye.